Hi friends, welcome to Magic Mustache Math. I am Miss Cosmos, and today we are going to be doing topic 11.2, plot fractions and decimals on the number line, and we're working on page 501 in your math textbook. So the Solve and Share says, for each lettered point on the number lines, name at least two numbers. Use decimals, fractions, and mixed numbers. Tell how you decide. Okay, so right now we're just going to work with this number line up here. I have a point A, a point B, and a point C. I can see that my points on the number line are all between 0 and 1. And I'm going to count here and make sure, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so these are just sectioned off into tenths. So if we're doing fractions, and I think I'm going to do fractions on the top and decimals on the bottom so we don't get too confused. If I'm doing this number line in fractions, there are 10 points, so I know that I have 0 over 0. Actually, I think that's 0 over 10. And then this would be 1 would be 10 over 10. And now I'm just going to fill in all of the points in between. So the first one would be 1/10, then 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, and then 10/10 is my 1. Now I'm going to do decimals. So if I have 1 over 10, that is just 0.1. Then we have 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and then this is a 1, but there's actually an imaginary decimal and a placeholder 0 here. So this is where, if you were counting, you've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, but this is represented by a 1. So now we've got our decimals and our fractions on our number line. So now we just have to look at each of the lettered points and come up with two different numbers that they are represented by. So for letter A, it's right here, and that is 1/10 or 0.1. Letter B is right here. It is 5/10 or 0.5. Letter C is 7/10 or 0.7. Now we're going to move on to our second number line. So this one's a little different. It does not start at 0. It has a couple of points here and then a 1 and then some points in between and a 2. So let's see how many points I have. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I could do the same thing with these, and I'm going to do my fractions up top. So because I start with 1, okay, this is a 1. This over here, I'm going to take my 1 with me because I have a hole, and it's going to be 1, 1/10, 1, 2/10, 1, 3/10, 1, 4/10, 1, 5/10, 1, 6/10. I'm going to move down here. 1, 7/10, 1, 8/10, 1, 9/10, and then this is 2. So I've got my 1, my 2, and then my fractions in between. Now, over here, if it's less than 1, but these are all tenths, I know that this is going to be 9/10, 8/10, 7/10 without the 1 in the front because we are less than 1. So these are my fractions, and then these are my mixed numbers after I've passed to the right side of the 1. So now I have to come down here and figure out what my decimals are going to be. Well, 7/10 is going to be 0.7 because the 7 is in the tenths place. This is going to be 0.8, 0.9. This is 1. Now on the other side of the 1, I have to do the same thing that I did up here. I've got to carry my 1 with me. So 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. I'm going to move down here so that we don't get these all mixed up. 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, and then here is my 2. So here's my 1 and my 2, and then all of my points in between. Now, for letter D represents 7/10 and 0.7. These are the same thing. It's just fractions and decimals. And my letter E right here is 1/2 and 1.2. Letter F is 1/9 or 1.9. Okay, now let's do our third number line. So we've got, it starts with 3, and there's a 4 and a 5. Let me make sure that I have 10 in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this is going to be, if this is a fraction, this is going to be, this is my 3, and then I've got to carry it with me. I'm going to try to make this as neat as possible. Okay, so 3 1/10, 3 2/10, 3 3/10, 3 4/10, 3 5/10, 3 6/10, 3 7/10, 3 8/10, 3 9/10, and then this would be 3 10/10 or 4. Now, continuing on to our 5, we've got to carry our 4 with us. We have 4 1/10, 4 2/10, 4 3/10, 4 4/10, 4 5/10, 4 6/10, 4 7/10, 4 8/10, 4 9/10, and then our 5 would be 4 10/10 or 5. Okay, I know that's a lot. Now we're going to do our decimals. So 3 as a decimal is just 3.0 because we all have on the back of every whole number is an imaginary decimal and a placeholder 0. Now we've got 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, 3.9, and 4. So here's our whole numbers. And then we keep going all the way to our 5. So 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, 4.8, 4.9, and 5. So here are my whole numbers, 3, 4, and 5, and then here are my whole numbers here, 3, 4, and 5, and then all of the fractions and decimals in between. So our first letter is letter G, and that is going to be 3 2/10 or 3.2. Our next letter is H. That is going to be 3 6/10 or 3.6. And then our last letter is letter I, and that will be 4 4/10 or 4.4. Now, down at the look back, is the name for point B above different from the name for point B on the number line below? Explain. Well, this number line looks like it's a little more spread out, which I really like because it gives us some space. But let's see. It starts with 0 and it goes to 1. This one starts with 0 and goes to 1. So that looks the same. Looks like our letters are all in the same places. Let's see if we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yeah. So 0 over 10, 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, and 10/10 or 1. And then my decimals are going to be, let's see, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and 1.0. So let's take a look at B. Up here, it's 5/10 or 0.5. And right here, letter B is 5/10 or 0.5. So it is not different than up above. It's just that the number line looks a little different because it has more spaces. It has a little more space in between each number, but it's still the same number line. Even though it looks different, it's still the same. So no, it is not different than the one up above. Okay, flip over here real quick. I'm just going to go through this super quick. So in a long track speed skating, each lap is 4/10 kilometers during is 4/10 kilometers. During practice, Elizabeth skated 3.75 kilometers. Draw a number line to show 4/10 and 3.75. So right here, they just did a number line. And they're doing them separately. They're doing a number line for 4/10 and a number line for 3.75. The number line for 4/10 is right here. And you can see that they have it right here at 4/10 or 0.4. And then over here, they've got a number line between 3 and 4. Now, because 3.75, this 5 right here, this would mean that we would have to have a number line that has 100ths, and we don't have that. We only have tenths. So we kind of have to go in between 3.7 and 3.8, and halfway in between that would be 3.75. Okay, and down here it says you can use a second number line to show the interval between 3.7 and 3.8. The points on both number lines are 3.75. And interval, it just means the space in between. So what they did was they actually kind of spread it out. So look, we've got 3.7 here and 3.8, and then they did 3.71, 3.72, 3.73, 74, 75. So they just spread out this number line to show you exactly why 3.75 is in between 3.7 and 3.8. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me for Magic Mustache Math. I will see you next time.